Hey guys, this is Lala Legacy, and welcome back to another episode of Cinderella Phenomenon. So, let's jump right back in. Things are starting to get serious. Sir Alcaster continues to speak. He mentions things like curfews for safety, extended work hours, and additional taxes to go towards the knights, but I am slowly beginning to block out the drone of his voice. What is going on? Sir, no. Alcaster must have done something to force the king into this charade. Or, not charade, charade. I don't know why I wanted to talk or say it like that. It's probably because of the voice I gave. The king stands behind Alcaster with his hands clasped, his eyes alert, but there is a helplessness to them that I have never seen there before. It isn't long before the crowd's unsettled murmuring becomes agitated whispers. I am stunned when Claude cups his hand to his mouth and starts shouting. There is only one king! King Gennaro! Claude grips my hand and starts leading me around the outskirts so that people cannot spot him as he continues to shout. The crowd begins to chant along with Claude, and then they draw nearer to the stage where my father and Alcaster are standing. There is only one king, King Gennaro! There is only one king, King Gennaro! Let's go, Melody. The crowd is right next to the platform now, and the chant carries on. Claude pulls me behind him, but my mind is on my father and on his desperate eyes. Hours later, the Marchen tavern is chaotic. People are talking over each other, trying to relay the scene that they saw in town today. Every visitor here is talking about what they witnessed. I have been in the corner of the room this entire time, trying to understand everyone but failing. Delora and Parfait are not here to calm all of the chaos. Hey, princess, how are you feeling? I almost jumped when I hear Rumpel's voice. Surprised? I can feel when a damsel is in distress, milady. I'm not really in the mood for your flirting, Rumpel. Oh, my apologies. I thought you might have wanted some cheering up. Where's your partner? He went out to town to survey the situation. Karma doesn't do anything around the tavern, but he does a whole lot for you, doesn't he? I suppose that's the least a man in love can do. I feel myself blush. What is Rumpel going on about? Princess, you're pink. I am not. My mind feels all scrambled now. This is all Rumpel's fault. Thankfully, before Rumpel can continue talking, the doors open and Delora walks inside to call the Marchen boarders to the reception room. When I step into the reception room, I am surprised to see two familiar figures standing beside Parfait. Hi! Melanie and Rod! Both of them look downtrodden and discouraged. Everyone is noticeably shocked as they step inside. The prince and princess? Where did they come from? What is happening at the palace? What of Queen Ophelia? Oh, whoops, what of Queen Ophelia? Sorry, I gave them the wrong voice. We need silence in the room. Everyone! Delora raises her voice, effectively causing everyone to pause. She glances at Parfait, who nods and then turns to look at Rod and Amelanie. Princess Amelanie, if you would tell everyone what you told Delora and I. The room was unnaturally quiet as Amelanie begins her story. She starts with the events of 1 week ago. In the middle of a family dinner, Alcaster burst in with soldiers and seized her, Rod, and Ophelia in front of the king. Sir Alcaster said that if the king didn't hand over his crown, he would kill us. We had no idea a coup was being staged. The three of them were taken down to prison cells, with Ophelia taken to a separate cell. Sir Fitzgerald helped us escape, but only just barely. Fritz, are you openly disobeying your father? I hope that he is safe. Alcaster wanted to kill the king. I'm sure that he still will. But he has no reason to! The king has already handed over his crown. I speak before even realizing. Everyone stares at me, including Rod and Melanie. Alcaster is a foul man. I only think uh, I don't even know what that word is. But yeah, that word, the throne, now without violence, because he wants less resistance from the people. He never spoke up to my father before. Did you just say your father? It's a long story, Em. And Melanie looks between Rod and I, her expression confused. You know each other? Well, we do. Oh my gosh, come on. And Melanie looks like she wants to say something, but she remains silent. Our mother is still inside the palace. We need to save her somehow and Sir Fitzgerald. What happened to Fritz? We don't know. He helped us escape, but we were spotted at the last minute. He told us to run ahead and leave him behind. We didn't see him again after that, and we couldn't just wait, so Rod brought me here. Right now, we need to piece together this situation as quickly as we can, and then we need to figure out a way to save the king. I knew Alcaster was up to something, but I never thought it would escalate into this. Jurian, what do you know about this? Garland and I weren't just stripped of our titles because we disobeyed Alcaster's orders. It was because we overheard Alcaster plotting something and tried to tell the king of his plot. We gave him a warning, but the king did not believe us, not with Alcaster and Mithros whispering in his ears. The king didn't think Alcaster was possible of such a betrayal. He thought we were trying to turn him against Alcaster for our own gain. And so Alcaster stripped us of our titles and banished us from the palace. Lady Parfait found us, and while we were happy to help out at the tavern, we also intended to eventually do something about the mess in the palace. So, Alcaster has been planning to do this all this time. When we part for the night, Parfait and Delora take Rod and Melanie to a room that they can share. It has been decided that they will be harbored here at the Marchen, a place that Melanie apparently knew about but never came to because she wasn't cursed. Ugh. Well, Rod did say his family knew he was cursed. I noticed Melanie looking at me many times throughout the night, but she never asked me anything. The next few days are a muddled mess. Everyone is busy trying to find out what happened and what can be done to help the king. I am sweeping the tavern half-heartedly one day, my thoughts on everything but my chores. Everyone's been trying to do something to help out the last few days. Though I've gone on quite a few trips into town with Claude to search for information, we haven't been able to find much. I feel so useless. I'm finally on my break, so I decided to go to the reception room to rest. When I step inside, I notice Melanie sitting on the couch. She waves me over as soon as she sees me. She hasn't really openly spoken to me since she has been here. Parfait and Delora have been trying to hide her, so as not to cause a ruckus in the Marchen. Rumors are dangerous now. You're Melody, right? Yes. Rod told me about your curse. He said that you're the king's blood daughter. I'm really sorry. I am shocked by Melanie's sudden outburst. What? I didn't mean to, but I took your place. How could I forget my own sister? We're not blood related. That doesn't matter. I would love you regardless. And Melanie was always trying to take me out and do things with me back when I was still in the palace. I distanced myself from her because I thought the king loved her more than he loved me. I still think maybe he does. We weren't close. I barely spoke to you or to Rod. Didn't he tell you that? He did. But perhaps now we could turn over a new leaf? Melanie is as stubborn as always. I have more things to worry about than being her friend. I have to go. I walk off before the conversation can continue. If I hadn't been cursed and remained in the palace, would Sir Alcaster have taken me hostage too? Probably. The hours tick by, and as the tavern is empty for the day, Delora calls everyone together to explain what she and Parfait have pieced together about the situation. All right, everyone, we've come up with some new information. The first is that Alcaster has cracked down on the riots in town. Anyone seen protesting his rule is thrown into prison. The king always valued the people's opinions. Alcaster does not want opinions. He only wants to rule with an iron fist. Our patrols have shown that there is overall more security in the palace and around the town. They have been charged with keeping people quiet in whatever ways they possibly can. As we heard from the prince and princess, things are most turbulent in the palace. The king is still alive, but it is unlikely he will stay that way for very long. One thing is clear. Given Alcaster's motives to take over the kingdom, I would doubt he would rest until the king is dead. The king's men have turned against him, and even if if there are loyal soldiers still left in the palace, we cannot contact them right now. Rescuing the king and queen will be on us then. We just so happen to have people in this tavern that have a shot at rescuing them. Prince Rod has the key to a secret passage we can use to break into the palace. Secret passageway? But only the king and the commander of the knights have the key to that passage, so how did they get a copy? Who is going to join us on this mission? Jurian and Garland both volunteer immediately, followed shortly by Claude and Waltz. I'll go too. The room goes quiet as I step forward and volunteer. Princess, we can't just allow you to put yourself in danger. I look at Claude, who's staring at me shocked. I took up the sword so I could protect those I care about. Princess, you don't have nearly enough practice. But I can help. I still have time to learn. I agree with Parfait, Princess. The palace isn't a place for you to try out your newfound sword skills. Then you may as well chain me up, because I refuse to stay here while you all go save the king. Princess! Oh my goodness. Stop it. Well, she has been practicing with the rest of us. Don't encourage her, Jurian. But it's not like any of us can stop her anyway. You're right. The princess is quite stubborn. Claude agrees with Jurian, but I could tell that he does not like the idea of me going along with them. If only we had the time to get reinforcements from Karma's country. Karma's country? Brigantia. How is it possible that a Brigantian citizen can simply ask for reinforcements? Karma was the crown prince of Brigantia. There is some shuffling in the room as everyone turns to gawk at Claude. Rumpel, Anise, Rod, and Melanie all look shocked by this revelation. You're the lost prince? Lost prince. It sounds like such a tragedy, doesn't it? Anise suddenly looks distressed as she fiddles her thumbs. All this time and I never knew. I'm so sorry, Your Highness. There is no need for formalities, Anise. But I am the lost prince, after all. I keep my lineage a secret because right now I'm just a normal commoner. But you're the prince! Couldn't you still ask for reinforcements? Even if I did ask for reinforcements, I'm pretty sure they would never come in time. Besides, I can't go back to my kingdom yet. He cannot go back while he's still cursed. The conversation continues in a more solemn tone. Eventually, we start speaking of our plan to enter the palace. When the details are all finalized, I repeat everything myself to make certain that I know what is meant to happen. Waltz will lead us to the palace then, and Jurian and Garland will follow right behind him, watching for the most immediate enemies. Leave it to us. We'll deal with any resistance before it touches you, Princess. And Karma will be watching from the back along with Delora. A witch and a prince for backup. Delora smiles wryly. Claude rolls his shoulders. I'd like to think of us more as the closing act. Though, if all goes according to plan, we will have no need for either the opening or closing act. It is a small task force, which is better. The smaller the better. The last thing we want is to be noticed. We decide to meet again over the course of the next week to finalize our plan and carefully survey the situation in town before parting. Claude has taken to training me, Jurian and Garland at the same time. Just the other day, he had all of us attack him together. Even though I am nowhere near as good as a trained knight, I still managed to hit him once. I feel like things are coming to some sort of conclusion, and yet I still haven't done 3 good deeds. Today, we finalized our plan for getting into the palace. We have mapped out where the king and Ophelia must be in the prisons, where the guards might be positioned, and how we plan on sneaking in. I sit down on my bed and I'm about to lay down when I hear something. Hello, love. My, you're red. Were you thinking about me? I notice that he has one hand on his chest tonight, but then, he has been doing that more often lately. I notice it during practices and sometimes when I catch his eyes. Is he sick? Darling. I shake myself at the sound of Claude's voice. What if I was changing? You could have knocked. Well, you didn't seem to have a problem when you walked in on me changing without announcing yourself. Well, that's different. He strolls inside and steps closer to me. He smiles at me mischievously. Oh, how so? Cat got your tongue? Claude shakes his head, his smile softening. I really didn't mean to come in and disturb you. I just have something important I need to say to you. Claude kneels in front of me and furrows his eyebrows. I want to insist you reconsider going to the palace with us. As Parfait and Delora have said many times, it will be dangerous. Nothing you say is going to make me change my mind. I want to do what I can to help everyone. Yes, and that terrifies me. Terrifies you? If your stubbornness leads to putting your neck out there for someone, I would never forgive myself for your injuries. If you want to help me, stay here, where you'll be safe. I'm not some damsel that needs to be protected. Melody, all I want is for you to stay safe, so that when we save your father, you can face him with a smile. I won't be able to face my father unless I am one of the people to save him. Stubborn as always. I sigh, irritation welling up in my stomach at the look on Claude's face. He's calling me stubborn, but he's being stubborn about this. You said I've improved with my sword fighting. You have. You've improved so much because of your resilience and drive, and because you're genuinely interested. It's because I have a good teacher. Oh, your compliment is gentle music to my ears. Your compliments mean a lot to me, Melody. My eyes fixate on his soft smile, and at the gentle crinkles at his eyes. Our eyes lock for a few moments. And for a few moments, I am aware of a slight energy between us. I glance away hurriedly, not entirely sure of what would happen if I kept staring at him. My heart beats unsteadily in my chest. Earlier today, I comforted your sister when she started crying about the things that had happened in the palace. Melanie? Why would he comfort her? I saw her crying downstairs in the reception room earlier today without anyone there. She's a rather sweet girl. I keep thinking that the two of you are completely different. You're both strong-willed and stubborn, but she wears her emotions on her sleeve, while you keep it all inside of you. I am not hiding anything, if that's what you are implying. Mother always told me crying was weak. Claude stands up and leans forward. Before I know it, I'm in his arms. Melody, I'm always here for you. I feel flustered again, and my mind feels foggy. I can barely comprehend what's in my mind or in my heart. But this is all the time that I have, guys, for this episode. Yeah, because this is going to be the bad route. We've been going down the bad route this whole time, which I know was probably a mistake. The next route that I do, um, we're gonna do the good ending first, and then we'll skip through choices and do the bad ending. But I kind of wanted to test out the waters for this, so I did the bad ending for Claude first. So, when we play through again after we finish up the bad ending, I'm going to go through his good ending, so do not worry, we will see it. Anyways, this is all the time that I have for this episode, guys. So, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe. By subscribing, you're becoming part of a legacy. I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!